How's it going, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today, we're taking a look at a couple of my favorite everyday carry knives that have recently come into the channel. While we get started, let us know down in the comments what your EDC is today. We are going to kick the video off with the Kaiser Mini Momo. I will have all the knives you see in the video linked down below in the description. If you see something that looks interesting, they will be easy to find down there. Now, this is a new release for 2025 in January. All the knives on the list today are not technically new releases. They are just new into the channel, but we do have a couple of new releases, and this is one of them. The full-size Momo was a large folder, and they have shrunk this one down into a much more manageable size and price point as well. There are a couple different versions, and I'll do my best to link them, but they're going to range between $60 and $80, let's just say. 154 cm on this version, which this one's going to be a little bit more than the Nitro V version. So you can get them as low as $60, $65, which is not bad at all. We have an aluminum bolster with black micarta, all black hardware, and black bolsters. Just a really good looking knife here. We have a black G10 backspacer and a deep carry right hand only steel pocket clip. Good access to the liner. Great action. If you want to learn how to front flip or you enjoy front flippers, this is definitely a candidate to take a look at as something that you could learn and get really good on a front flipper, but it's also going to be a fantastic knife for you at a great price. Next up, we have the QSP Hornbill, and although I recently learned this is not a new design for QSP, it is somehow a knife I overlooked for quite a while. I didn't hear anything on it, and I never seen it up until the point at which it came in. So I all along was thinking this is a newer design, but the Hornbill here has been around for a little while. It's not real old, but it is an impressive folding knife. It's going to be coming in S35 VN. You have a nice stonewash drop point blade, kind of a harpoon drop point looking blade. We have this really nice blue marbled carbon fiber, and the camera will only do it so much justice, especially with that little wave pattern that's in it, but I'll kind of roll it around in the light for you. It's really good looking stuff, and it's very subtle. We do have steel liners and open construction with a couple of standoffs. We do have, however, a milled titanium clip, which is really nice, and it looks fantastic in the pocket. Going to be right-hand carry only, and we do have great access to that liner with some jimping. The detent and the action is on point, exactly what you would expect from QSP. The cutout, the studs, and the front flipper all work very good and work well together with that detent, on top of some great ergos and the materials. This coming in around 150 with those materials is a very solid knife. I have a really nice list for you guys, a bunch of different companies, a bunch of different price points. Right now we're looking at the newer CJRB Hectare Alt, and this is CJRB and Artisan's new proprietary steel SF2. It also has their sand polish finish done, which is really good looking stuff. And we have this nice modified Wharncliffe style blade. We have dual thumb studs for deployment. I'm really happy that they did this model and the crossbar lock together. It's a really, really solid knife. And if you haven't experienced their crossbar lock, they do a great job. Not far behind Kaiser at all, in my opinion. Good, solid springs in there. We have micarta for our handle material, and it's some really nice stuff. We have a deep carry steel rollover clip, and it is going to be reversible. And if you wanted to splash this thing up, you could always get a milled titanium clip from CJRB and Artisan and throw it on there. And there is the Bowie version with the SF2 and the button lock version. But you couldn't go wrong with either one of these. I am interested, however, to see some of the results on the testing for the SF2. That way we can get some more information on how it's going to perform. As I said in the unboxing for this knife here, the Rike P662, if you just need a knife, a solid, reliable, cutting, slicing knife, this is going to be a great option. Comes in around 35 bucks, 14C28N on the steel, which they do very well, and they have for a long time. You have that nice low tip there, and it's got like a polished, mirrored gray PVD coating. It looks good. And it takes wear very well. I've used a lot of rake knives and tested their 14C and these coatings, and they hold up well, especially for a $35 knife. We have textured G10. The edges are chamfered, and that's a nice touch there. We do have a G10 backspacer and a hidden lanyard post there. A deep carry lower mounted clip that is recessed along with the screws. This is going to be right hand carry only, and we do have great access to that liner with solid lockup. We are looking at washers to keep things low cost, and it'll keep things moving a little bit better in dirty environments. And we have good solid lockup there with that liner. Good action off the detent. And as this knife breaks in a little bit more, it will start to get a little droppier, but because of the washers and how light that blade is, you could get it a little better than I have it now. But the closing action on something like this is not going to be, fidget factor is not going to be, you could flick it out and close it like you've seen me doing, but not going to be quite a fidget monster. But that is why I said if you just need a cutting tool, not a fidget toy. We are going to look at the artisan cutlery, satyr, skater, satire. I've been told by like 3 or 4 people on how this is actually pronounced, and who knows if any are right or if they're all right. But either way, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters is this is a really solid knife, and I've been struggling to decide on if I like this better or if I like the Revel better. They come in at the same price. They are the same materials. They are just different knives. They feel different, and they're going to kind of act a little bit different on how they cut, but not massively. But the ergos are going to be a little bit different on both. But I really enjoyed, you guys know who've been around a little bit, I've really enjoyed the Revel. They come in RPM 9. They come with titanium textured handles. You have a deep carry reversible steel rollover clip. And you also, like I mentioned earlier, have the option to throw a milled clip on, which I have done here. This originally came with the deep carry clip like you see here, and I opted to throw the milled clip on there, and it matches. It's their clip, but it matches perfectly, and it works really good. I'll probably end up putting one on the satyr as well. But we have incredibly good action on this thing. The detent is absolute money. Nice and strong. Closing action, it closes nice and calmly. It's kind of like a 1-2 shake type of deal, and it'll probably get even better as it breaks in. Just a very comfortable, well-priced knife. I mean, I wish this type of knife was around when I first got into the knife world, because eventually you're going to want to experience a titanium frame lock. It's just the way that it goes. But typically, you have to spend a decent amount of money to get that titanium frame lock, especially 7-8 years ago. Now you can get something like this for under $100, around $90 right now. So pretty spectacular on the side of artisan. And they have a couple of different options with this and the what is this called now? The Revel. Hard to beat $90 for those types of knives. Next up, another knife that I've had trouble putting down. This is the Tenable Fermi. And the only thing the premium one was missing was great access or good access to the lock bar. And I said to myself, man, if they fix that on the Tenable version, it's going to be such a good knife, and it is. I mean, not to take anything away from the premium version, but the access wasn't the greatest, and they certainly fixed that here. Great access to that liner with a chamfer, good solid lockup. We're looking at a polished gray titanium nitride coating, and it looks beautiful. You have this recurve kind of harpoon drop point, a flat with a top swedge. It looks really, really good. A nice large sharpening choil there, and that heavier, more stout blade is going to give you some really, really nice closing action. Good, strong detent in there for them studs. Micarta for our handle material, and it's really nice stuff. We have open construction, a couple of standoffs, right hand carry only clip. I think a little redesign is in order, and just run a straight clip and then put a filler tab and make it so a lefty can carry it, right? But these are going to come in under 60 bucks, guys. That's a spectacular price for this knife right here, in my opinion. Very comfortable, even with XL hands. I can get a nice, comfortable grip, and you can choke up behind that edge because you have that large flat area here, and it just works really good. I've been carrying this knife a lot lately. And the knife that's going to steal the show, something that's been riding right in my right hand pocket, the Miguron Arma version 2. This thing is so badass. If you like larger, crazy, overbuilt knives, the Miguron Arma will be perfect for you. We're looking at 250 thousandths blade stock thickness here. M390. We have this two-tone satin finish with a hand satin on the flat, and we have a belt satin on the primary there. Beautiful drop point blade. Nice cutout and sharpening choil there. Large cutout and flipper tab for deployment. For as heavy as this blade actually is, this thing is tuned very well. The detent can only be so strong on a knife like this because if it's too strong and that blade is too heavy, it would be a bear to get out. But in the case of this, I think they tuned it perfectly. It's a heavier blade, so you do got to give it a little gas, but the detent is tuned nicely. And the closing action, that flipper tab, it's just beautiful. You have this textured titanium handle, diamond-like texture on there. Very good looking, feels great in the hand. In the unboxing, I don't know if I stressed it enough, but having like an XL or larger hand, this thing is going to just melt into your hand, especially if you like a little bit larger knife, and this will certainly fit the bill. Great access to the lock bar there, and they chamfer it nicely. Also, the pocket clip is done really well. It's not too tight. It's got a great amount of retention to it. So it's not overly tight. That's not a worry. That's something that was a concern for me initially, but I have since learned it is nice on that retention and not too overwhelming. You'll have to let me know, what was your favorite knife from today's video, and let me know if you've gotten a knife in recently that you are really hyped on. I love hearing from you guys, your thoughts and opinions. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on your way out. That helps push this video to more people. And if you're new to my channel here and you enjoy knife and EDC content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe. I release daily videos just like this. I'll throw a couple of new videos up on your screen that YouTube is recommending you go check out right now. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.